In this lesson, we're going to be learning how to write perpendicular equations. Right? In the last lesson, we did parallel equations. So if you haven't done the parallel equations, I would suggest doing that lesson first and then coming back to this one. Right? So perpendicular equations. So first, let's remind ourselves. Remember, perpendicular. Those are the lines that make a 90-degree angle. Right? Perpendicular. Their slopes always multiply to -1. Right? Perpendicular lines have slopes that multiply to -1. Right? So 2 and -1/2 are perpendicular because if you multiply them, they make -1. Also, -3 and 1/3 would multiply to -1. So things, pairs like that. And so these are the steps that we're going to use. So if you look at it, 2 through 5, or what we did yesterday, 1 is the new step. Right? The new step is you have to find your new slope. So last time we just used the one they gave us. This time we have to find the slope. What you do is you do -1 divided by the slope that they gave you, which you'll get from the equation. All right, whatever's next to the x. All right, everything else is the same as yesterday. Once you have that new m, you plug in the a and the b with the m, distribute, add or subtract, and then you're done. So it's going to be very similar to what we did yesterday. The steps are the same. It's just that for the slope, since the slopes are not the same, what we do is we take the slope, so this is the slope, and we need to know what to multiply with it times something, going to give us -1. So we went over how to do this before. What you do is you take -1 divided by -5, put it in your calculator. We'll open up Desmos here. -1 divided by -5 is 1/5. So here, 1/5 will be our m value. And your point is still a and b, so that's the same. It's the same formula. The only difference is how you find m. So to find m, do -1 divided by the slope they gave you, and that will be your new m. Alright, so we'll plug it in. Y minus 1 equals 1/5 x minus -2. When you have a minus and -2, always turn that into a plus. Distribute. Y minus 1 equals 1/5 x. 1/5 times 2. 1/5 times 2 is 2/5. Right, so distribute is multiply. Now we add the 1 to both sides. 1/5 x. Now I'm going to put this in the calculator. 2/5 plus 1. Yeah, 2/5 plus 1 is 7/5. And there's our answer. Right. Next example. First, we take our slope. We do -1 divided by the slope. Right. Check that in Desmos. -1 divided by 2 is -1/2. So that's your m. You got your a. You got your b. Plug it into the formula. Y minus 3 equals negative half x minus negative 5. Negative negative is positive. Distribute your m. A negative half times x is a negative half. A negative half times 5. Plug that in here. Negative 1/2 times 5 as a fraction is negative 5/2. So we'll put minus 5/2 there. Add 3 to both sides. Y equals negative half x. I'll add those together. Negative 5 halves. Oops. Negative 5/2 plus 3 is 1/2. Always use the fraction. There's your answer. Next example. Write the equation that's perpendicular. So we take our slope, always put it under the negative 1, and then put that fraction in Desmos. Clear that. Negative 1 over negative 4 is 1/4. Oops. So that's our m. Got our a and our b. Oops. Y minus b equals m. X minus a. Plug them in. Y minus negative 4 equals m. X minus 4. Double negatives mean it's a positive. Distribute. 1/4 times negative 4. Let's put 1/4 times negative 4 is negative 1. Take that back here. Negative 1. Okay. We move the number by the y, but minus 4 minus 4. Y equals 1/4 x minus 5 is our answer. Right, remember, if you have any trouble with this, you can send me a message on Remind